Welcome, church. This is week 2 of our victorious Easter season. And this week, in week 2, we're talking about the play of the week. And the play of the week is called Tush Push. Now, this is a play that was made famous by the Philadelphia Eagles. And really, what this play is about the team getting together in unity and just moving the ball a few yards. All they need is a yard or two to score a touchdown. So in this play, the line bunches all together. The quarterback is underneath the center. The running backs and several other tight ends and such are all around. The quarterback hikes the ball, and everybody pushes with the same effort at the same time with the goal of just getting a few yards. It's about pushing together. It's about unity. The book of Philemon was written by Paul to Philemon, who was a leader of a house church. And in this particular letter, Paul compliments Philemon, saying, you know what? You are really good at a couple of things. One, you love the people. You love the people, and you refresh them. You take care of them. You encourage them. And in so doing, he brought up probably a pretty sensitive subject. Philemon had a indentured servant, a slave that worked for him and ran away. In those days, most slaves weren't about anything racial or such. It was about money. Onesius owed Philemon money somehow, some way, and he was working it off. But instead of working it off and doing what he promised to do, he ran away. As he runs away, as God would have it, he meets Paul, and Paul shares the gospel, and he becomes converted and becomes a valid, strong worker with Paul in the ministry. Now Paul, having trained up and raised Onesius, is sending him back to Philemon because Paul is stressing there needs to be unity. There needs to be a reconciliation. Now, Paul knows, because he'd heard the story from Onesius, is that how he hurt Philemon and how he stole from him. And maybe Philemon is feeling a little bit resentful because of the wrong, legitimately, that was done against him. But Paul makes an interesting point. And in writing this, he says, look, in Philemon's verses 18 and 19, if he, Onesius, has done wrong, any wrong to you, and owes you anything, charge it to me. I will pay it back. Not to mention that you owe me your very self. In other words, you owe me everything because I brought you to Christ. I introduced Christ to you. And the whole point of this is Paul is saying we owe everything to Christ, who is hurt and rejected by everything. And what we owe, we need to pay back and give to Christ and credit it to him. And then Christ, just like Paul was saying, will pay us back. He will take care of us. But the most important thing is we must live in unity, which means even when it's hard, even when it hurts, forgive others, even those that hurt you. Have that loving spirit toward them. Refresh them and watch and see what God does. If we're going to do anything, if we're going to change this world, if we're going to win in this season as we approach Easter, we need to understand that unity comes from being willing to forgive one another and care for one another. And that's our challenge this week. Forgive, encourage, strengthen, and you watch and see what God does in your life. God bless. See you later.